Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's get right into this mail. It says, "Dear Perch P. Perchington." My middle name doesn't start with P, but there you go. Uh, I've got two questions for you. One that's kind of funny. All right, you don't need to say that. You can just ask a funny question. Anyway, one that's kind of funny. First off, why do so many people say you're a drunk? Is it because you talk about liquor, or are they just jealous? They're jealous. They're 100% jealous. I don't know. Look, I mean, look, the reality is it's the internet, and if people want to argue with you, they just they invent or they go with, whatever insult is easy at hand. And I've talked about enjoying a glass of whiskey. We used to do the drinking comics. I mean, it was in the name of the live streams I used to a long time ago, drinks and comics. And I would typically pour myself a glass of something. Joe Corallo would join, and he always poured himself a glass of just terrible, terrible liquor. And and I would have a glass of whiskey, and I would do that. And every now and then, when I get passionate about a topic, in other words, when I actually cared about something, people would go, "Oh, he's drunk," because that's how we respond to passion and people who actually care about things. We say they clearly must be drunk on drugs, whatever it happens to be. But the reality is, if you care about something, you're passionate about something, and showing passion is not a bad thing. So anyway, do I enjoy drinking? Sure. Do I drink excessively? No. I'm driving right now. I'll be fine. You're not going to hear a car accident in the middle of this video. It'd be hilarious. It would be really hilarious. I mean, if I truly had a drinking problem, not only would you hear me get in an accident on video, but then I would be drunk and dumb enough to then record it, audio process it, put some images up on the screen and post it. Like that would be the ultimate form of being a lunatic. Anyway, um, I'm fine. I think it's funny because for those of you who know me personally, a few of you do. I've been to bar cons and so on with several of you. I don't get drunk, and I know that people say that, but I like, trust me, take the challenge. It doesn't work. I don't know what's wrong with my tolerance. I don't know what's going on. Believe me, I've had moments in my life where I wish I could just escape into a blissful haze of alcohol, but it doesn't work on me. My body chemistry won't let it happen. Didn't let it happen in college. It's not letting it happen now. It doesn't work. No matter how much I wish it did. Anyway, I do make jokes about it, but there you go. Let's see. Back to the mail. Anyway, as they say, my serious question is this: what do you make of DC Comics, their new superhero team book that are all black superheroes called Power? I'm curious what you think of an all black superhero team. Is this a good idea? Marvel has had an all Asian superhero team, but it's never really gone anywhere. What do you think about comic teams specifically aligned specifically aligned to and made up of a single race? Curious your thoughts on that. Thanks for everything you do. I always enjoy your show. Please never stop. Don't. Okay, cool. Thanks for enjoying the show. I don't like it. I don't like it because the problem is a superhero team that has cool superheroes in it that we don't normally see. Yeah, that sounds cool. But when you start making the super team, built around a race, I don't know that. Like, here, let me try this out on you. All right, we got a brand new comic coming from DC Comics, and but in this comic, everyone on the superhero team is white. It's a whites only superhero team. Huh? Are you excited? Yeah, no. Like that. Does that sound like a bad idea? Because it is a bad idea. That's a bad idea. If you just sometimes you just need to, especially with race, you just need to put the the thing in, like, just if you change the race around and it sounds super racist, then it's racist. It's just a bad idea. No, nobody wants to see an all like, is that a selling point? Seriously, unless you're trolling because you're sick of the culture wars or you're anti woke or whatever, that may be a reason you want an all white superhero team. But beyond that, no. Like look at okay, the Avengers. Okay, first issue of the Avengers, we have Iron Man, we have the Hulk. I guess the Hulk is green. You have Thor, you have Ant Man and the Wasp, all white. At no point did like Stanley and Jack Kirby said, in the mighty Marvel fashion, you know, all white heroes. No, that would have sounded really weird because it would have been like you don't bill a comic that way. I just think that's super strange. Now, okay, so if it's an all Asian team or an all black team or an all Latino team or whatever it happens to be, um, basically what's being really said there is, hey, there haven't been a lot of black superheroes. There haven't been a lot like what Marvel did that comic, The Crew or whatever. If you read that comic, it's hard not to that the comic makes you uncomfortable, not because it's speaking truth to power, but because it seems really racist. It just does. It's like, all the black superheroes get together and they stick it to the man. It's like, ooh, who wrote this? It turns out it wasn't a white guy, but it certainly feels like a member of the KKK wrote that thing because it doesn't sound right. Um, I think. Well, here's the crazy thing about comics right now. If you look at DC and Marvel, you have some pretty overpowered. I mean, overpowered maybe is the wrong word. You have some legitimately, you know, big time black superheroes that could lead the Justice League or the Avengers. And I mean, you had it back in the 80s too. Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, black woman, led the Avengers. Today, if you had a good writer, and that's the really key point to all this, got to underline that part. If you had a good writer who came, like let's say that, I almost hate to use this example, but let's say Chris Claremont decides to write an ongoing Marvel series. And Chris Claremont decided, because Chris Claremont, again, is a guy who had the X-Men led by a black woman, Storm, and had a comic for a period of time. We had a multinational, a Canadian guy, a German guy, a Russian guy. You had all these different characters. So, okay, so it's now Chris Claremont writing the Avengers, and he puts, it's a Blue Marvel as the leader. Would that be weird? It would be weird from a standpoint of that's not a popular character, but under Chris Claremont's hands, I mean, I think he could give it a try. I think he probably could pull it off, but he's strong enough. I mean, he's like Superman and he's super smart. You could easily make that happen. You could also do something a little bit less, obscure, and you can certainly do a Avengers team led by Sam Wilson as Captain America or the Falcon. Either way, you could do that. You could bring back Monica Rambeau. You could do that. You got there's plenty of heroes over in DC. If you put Grant Morrison and you put him in charge of the Justice League again, he's going to redo that, and the leader of the team is Mr. Terrific. And then he assembles the perfect team because he's super smart and he knows how to do it. I mean, what are you telling me people would be like, no, I'm sorry, this comic is too unrealistic. I could never read this. You could absolutely do that. To me, I think the characters to do this are right there. You could bring in the Static Shock. You could bring in Icon. You could cross that universe over. You could do something with Black Lightning. They've done it before. I mean, there's characters who are black who could be major members of the Avengers or of the Justice League, and nobody would bat an eye. But when you print a comic that says, finally, it's all black superheroes, the challenge is if you're at all logical, it starts to be strange. Because it's like, hey, Doctor Doom is blowing up part of Europe, and Ultron's decided to melt the ice caps, and the Masters of Evil have reformed and are taking over Washington, D.C. We need to, my God, we need to stop this. Only call the black heroes. Like, what? Like, that, that wouldn't, that wouldn't make any sense. It's superheroes. You're not supposed to really have race be, these characters have evolved beyond race. And it doesn't mean they aren't black or white or Latino or Asian or whatever they happen to be, but their mission in life is to save lives and to protect the planet. Their mission is not to, have just a black superhero team. That would be strange, or a white superhero team. Again, the Avengers were formed, and for big parts of the Avengers history, they were all white. But you never saw Captain America like white Avengers assemble. You never like they never leaned into that because it didn't make any sense. And in fact, if there was a big threat, it's like, oh my God, Galactus has shown up and he's trying to eat the entire planet. What are we going to do here? And then, I don't know, the Falcon shows up and it's like, how can I help? And, the characters like Hawkeye might be like, man, I don't know, Falcon, you and me, I've got arrows. You could talk to birds. I don't think this is going to shit against Galactus. But, that would be a reasonable thing to say in the comic. But if Hawkeye was like, oh, I'm sorry, Falcon, you're black. You can't, no, we're going to need you to, you got to do something else. The Frightful Four are screwing up Brooklyn, but it's whites only to fight Galactus. Like, did you hear that sounds? It sounds weird. So I mean, I don't know. The challenge is, I think, from a marketing standpoint, if you're producing a comic and the gimmick is it's all the heroes in it are the same race, then you're not producing a superhero comic. You're producing a statement. And then the writer, whoever the poor writer is for this book, has to kind of work around the weird logistics of like, hey, the Joker is murdering everybody in Gotham, but grab all the black people. We're going to take them out. Like, it's just that as a storyline that doesn't make any sense. So there you have it. Do you want this? I'm honestly curious. So I've given my my reasoning very directly, very candidly. But you may be sitting here going, there's racist Perch again, not wanting to have an all-black superhero team. He's clearly racist. Rather than calling me names, why do you want this? And please be honest. I'm not going to shit on you, and I'd ask other people in the comments, please don't go in there and just attack somebody. But, maybe your answer is there's not a lot of black superheroes. We got to put them all in one team book in order to, raise the profile and give them their just due. I think that's a dumb answer, but okay, it's an answer. I'd raise my hand and say, hang on, a lot of these black superheroes are popular. Can't you just give them their own solo book and let them be like, why do you have to group them all together? Like that seems strange. And also, again, if you've got some major problem, Doomsday is come to Earth and Superman is off planet and he's ripping up Chicago. So, but only black superheroes. We only want, like, Vixen's here, Mr. Terrific's here, Cyborg is here. We're gonna need to. We're only black superheroes here. Now Doomsday may murder off like 5 million people because we're not willing to accept Green Lantern unless it's Jon Stewart's help, or the Flash unless it's new Wally West help. Like we won't accept any of their help. Only black superheroes. Lives be damned. See, I mean, again, doesn't that sound weird? But maybe I'm missing something. So let me know in the comments below what's the point here? What's going on? And I'm honestly curious. Maybe somebody's cracked that code, but it's not me. Thanks for listening.